No, Bhagwan had cured me in the very beginning.
The Osho movement. And what do you think is the one biggest misconception about what you were trying to accomplish? You're preparing for your last day. How do you reach there and how do you prepare?
Love is the ultimate, and love is the prayer, and love is the devotion. I never thought I could live 39 months in prison. Never thought life will show me these days. Wild, wild country, 5 days, full 9 hours work. He was so complete for me. What will I change in him? No, I
Not
don't
anymore.
think so. Never.
Why?
I would not do that to myself anymore.
The initial part of any podcast is kept aside to introduce the guest. However, today any introduction would be redundant because anybody looking at our guest, listening to her, would already know about her. Of course, they would know about her in very different ways, depending on their upbringing, depending on where they are from. So, like any good podcast, we are also trying to add an additional perspective to that list of perspectives that any listener or audience member may have. We have with us Ma Anand Sheela, and it's our honor to welcome you to How Did You? Very warm welcome.
I'm very well, and I did very good that I was born at the time there was so much excitement of life was there.
Thank you. And that one line definitely highlights your message that you have been giving throughout your life. Just to start, let's go to the end. Because about a year back, interacting in yet another podcast, you had said that right now you're preparing for your last day. So, with how did you, what I'd like to ask you is how do you reach there and how do you prepare?
I have seen both my parents, my older brother, and my older sister die on their deathbed. And the way they have gone was so honorable, so correct, and so from their own choice.
Right.
They had a choice to longer their life few more months, but they all felt we have lived enough that we don't need to hang on. And I do not want to hang on. Also, they went in such peace and contentment and so much love around them while I was there. From 4, 3, I was there to take care of.
That's such a noble reason for why you're already planning for your last days. And that's really blessed that they did have that experience. So, how do one go about planning that? What is your process?
My process is simple: simplify life,
Right.
be content with what you have and what comes. You start dropping I want, I wish. These words don't exist for me. She was asking me today, did you like food? I said, yes, it was good.
Okay.
That is how you simplify it. You be grateful for what you get and what you have, and share that with people around you.
Is that one of the values your parents did pass on to you? Because anytime you speak about them, even the first question in this podcast, you started by mentioning them. You so lovingly talk about them. So, what are a few of the values they passed on to you that still stay with you?
My parents,
Yes.
this is one of the biggest value that they taught me how to end my life and accept it with a smile. Of course, That was not the beginning learning. That was when they died. I observed and saw it, how it can be. My parents have taught me to be true, honest, and loyal, and whatever you do, do 100%. It was my parents who introduced me to Bhagwan, and that was a wonderful gift of my life.
You've given a lot of gifts to a lot of people watching you and listening to you in the terms of words and phrases and attitude, and in today's words, maybe sass. The quick retort, the quick wit that you have and had from your younger days since you were right in the center of public life just came naturally to you. But we are curious on how did you reach there? When did you know that you had these oratory skills, that you could actually win people over with words?
Because I didn't think about it at the moment.
Okay.
And I had full conviction that the project we were involved in was very special, beautiful project. And people were dealing with us without knowing the project, its full extent, without knowing Bhagwan's teachings, Bhagwan's desire. They were full of accusation. And how do you cut negativity? Through humor. Humor is your first weapon in that situation.
Some would argue there was more than humor. There were several other emotions going on in your words. Some have
Definitely.
called it threatening, some have called it, like I said, a little bit of sass, a little bit salty, a little bit cheeky. There have been words you've read more than me, possibly, about yourself. So, again, where did that come from? Or did you ever look back and think I could have done more or less?
I was a good cook.
That
And I
explains it.
put all ingredients according to the correct portions in my
Any recipe
cooking.
you would like to change looking back today?
Yeah, be yourself. Say what's in your heart. And don't take abuse.
Wonderful. While being yourself, you're vulnerable to all the emotions. The quick wittedness will also bring in all the emotions quickly to you. You need to choose to respond or react. I would like to know if you've ever dealt with jealousy in your life.
Wealth?
Jealousy. Have you
Jealousy.
ever dealt with jealousy in your life?
Jealousy. No, Bhagwan had cured me in the very beginning.
Could you
He,
elaborate a bit on that?
yes, Bhagwan made me his secretary, and he said, I'm putting you in a position of the world envy. Don't fall for the trap.
Right, okay.
These were exact words of his. I put it in quotation. I remember in quotation, I see his face when I think of it. And it was dropped very moment.
And it's never come back.
No.
You're always in control of most of your emotions and you're always in control of your words. What I would like to know is while you're speaking, while you're listening, what goes on in your mind? Do you have an inner monologue? Is there a filter back then or now saying maybe these are things the listener is not ready right now?
This is something I have learned from my father and Bhagwan. You listen clearly and then you give an answer and you have to weigh every word that comes out of your mouth before it comes out. And it is a process that takes very small moment to do all that. You don't have half an hour or half a day to think about it. And I don't give When I'm in front of audience, I tell them to ask me the question then and there. I don't prepare.
You don't require the questions beforehand.
No, I don't require it. And I tell the people also, don't send me. If somebody by mistake sends, I send it back. The Wild Wild Country, we went through over 100 questions when they were filming me. 5 days, full 9 hours work that each day. And all questions they had to ask me spontaneously there.
And they got your raw, unedited emotions on tape.
They got whatever they got.
But unfortunately, the world didn't get the raw, unedited emotions as the documentary.
Yes, it won an Emmy Award.
It did, but many are saying that they know there's more and they would have loved to listen to you speak more on a lot of things
Well,
mentioned.
you have to create second part of Wild Wild Country
Possibly.
then.
Let's hope they do, and they do after listening to us.
Yeah.
Taking a slight turn from here towards something that you haven't been vocal about accepting. You're very accepting, you're very adaptive to the changes around you, to the newer generations. But whenever the question comes to spirituality, you've always shied away, or rather been vocal about it. Not shied away, you never shy away. But you've been vocal that you're not spiritual. Please don't call me spiritual, you've said in an interview. So, why so much antagonistic feeling against spirituality? And how do you actually define that spirituality that you don't want to be part of?
It's not attached to love.
Spirituality,
Yeah,
according to you.
spirituality.
Okay.
For me, love is the ultimate. And love is the prayer, and love is the devotion.
How do you
All
propose?
three exist together in harmony.
How do you propose we bring love into spirituality? Is there a method?
How do I propose? First, fall in love.
Then maybe find spirituality?
And then you will find out what happens. And the love that I'm talking about is unconditional. I am not talking about the love that is a bargain, that puts chains around you. I am talking about love only with one word, yes.
Sheila ji, love requires trust. And I would like to know, how does Ma Anand Sheila trust somebody? What is the criteria to win your trust?
Love and trust are the same thing, same coin, two sides.
Right.
Without love, there is no trust. Without trust, there is no love. And it is something my father told me once. When I was very young, I felt betrayed by one of the friends.
Right.
And I mentioned that to my father. And my father said, it is more the reason you have to trust again and again.
Could you please tell us more on that? The reason that they broke your trust is the reason why you should trust more?
Yes, you need to trust more. You have to have quality of the trust.
Wow. Okay.
And if you cannot trust, you will never fall in love again. And that was the common solution people have. Somebody betrays you, you stop loving.
You shut out the world and stop trusting. How to lose your trust then?
At times, but then I get my marbles straight in the head, and then I recognize that it is not me they are betraying. They are betraying themselves.
But what if they're hurting you when they are betraying themselves, when they're saying something and doing something else, and the result is hurt towards you? How do you still keep trusting and loving them?
It is their opinion.
Doesn't affect you.
No, I won't allow them to affect me. We live life only according to others' opinion, and we forget ourselves. And Bhagwan, my father, they teach us, be yourself.
Sheila ji, the yourself that you are is
Yes.
surprising to many people in different respects. So I would like to know what in you surprises you.
Many things surprise me.
We have the whole day. Please go ahead.
Oh my God. I never thought that I could be Bhagwan's secretary.
Okay.
I never thought that I could carry on these two small shoulders the whole responsibility of building a city with his people together. I never thought I could live 39 months in prison. Never thought life will show me these days what I have been living. And never thought that I had strength for all of it.
And what surprises you about the human beings around you, about all of us?
They are very loving, very respectful.
Now, what surprises you about the people around you,
That they are very loving and they are very respectful.
despite everything happening around?
Yes.
Okay. About everything happening around, the Osho movement has been put in several lights as the times changed, as the power centers changed, as the medium transmitting that information changed. What would you say is the one thing that the world has got right about that movement? And what do you think is the one biggest misconception about what you were trying to accomplish as a group?
First question I didn't understand.
Osho's teachings are misunderstood in many ways and understood in many ways. If you could tell us one aspect that's the most misunderstood, what would that be? If you could set the record straight.
People misunderstand Bhagwan on many levels. They don't understand when he contradicts something. They don't understand his teachings on sexuality. They don't understand his teaching on therapies and how to go inwards and search yourself. And what was the second question?
One thing that they've gotten right about his teachings, that you see everyone actually take it for what it is.
Rolls Royce. Everyone
That's
got
not
it.
misunderstood. So, how do you propose people actually get rid of these misunderstandings?
I don't propose because they have to do it. And unless they are ready to drop their opinions, they cannot do it. It is, they have to drop judgment. They should focus on individuals' creativity, positivity, abilities, not through their own values, which are on the floor yet. It has to be given respect. Respect is re-inspect. When you feel that by judging you're not doing good, then you have to re-inspect the issue. and offer the right respect.
With respect to re-inspecting, if I may ask, many people would talk to you about the Osho movement first. They would want to know more about that. They would be curious about that. But that's definitely talking about something that you like, but not what you are like. Is there a difference or is it the same thing? Does that movement define you as a whole, or is there an aspect of you that we haven't asked about, talked about, or read about that might still come out?
That movement, I should say, or that man has created me. I am his Frankenstein. And what else can I talk about it? It was such a profound life's experience in such a short time of 14 years that I was with him. What I have learned from him, how can I ignore it? I cannot.
Have you been able to add more to it from your perspective after moving away from the whole
I,
scene?
I live my own life.
So, what
Before I was living his life, taking care of him, being with him, making sure that his dream comes to fruits, taking care of his issues, his desire. Now I take care of my desire and my issues. And my issue right now is getting old and getting ready.
your last days? Yes, you've
Yes,
been very vocal about that. Coming back to moving on with your life, during that period, did your take on any of his philosophies change when you had your own input separately from that place and his teachings?
he was so complete for me. What will I change in him?
Did your perspective on any of the philosophies change? No,
No,
nothing.
no, I cannot, because he was the master of philosophy, master of words. All I have to do, as long as I'm still capable of learning, I have to learn more.
As someone who learns more, you do observe everything happening around you. And you've said you're yet to meet a mind as intellectual as Osho's. Does anyone come close?
No, I don't have a hankering to go men shopping of learning. No, I don't.
Not men shopping at all. I didn't mean it like that. You do
No, but
look around and see youngsters try to be enlightened. They try to know more about themselves. They speak more about themselves today. So, have you met in your many travels, in your discussions, any young mind or old mind, man or woman and child, anyone
I met
who's come
quite a
close?
lot of men and women and both, and uh, I give them advice. They come sometimes with conflict in their mind of different things, different situation, and I give them my practical advice, what I can, and sometimes I cannot. Then I say, that's something you have to figure it out yourself.
And do you think they should come forward with their thoughts more vocally? Do you think we need yet another movement like the one that you started long back?
No, no, I
Not
don't
anymore.
think so. Never.
Why?
I would not do that to myself anymore.
Would you think that different from you, others, if they start a movement like the Osho movement that
People
was there?
can do what they want to do, and they should learn from whatever they are doing. And I wish them good luck.
Thank you. Final two questions. Next one is an open ended question. It is an incomplete question. I'm requesting you to complete that question and respond to it yourself. It is the title of our podcast. So the question starts, how did you? And it's about you. So you can complete that question and give us an answer.
100%.
How did you 100%? So if that's
How
the
did I
question,
do 100%?
100%. So how did you do 100%? A one-line answer would be?
How did I do? I'm talking to you. By
Being
talking,
present. Perfect. We do hope that you did have a pleasant conversation. If we could ask you about your experience for the last 15 minutes, how would that be?
perfect.
Thank you so much.